They're going to be going up against Team WUSA from Germany. Now, Team WUSA has got a little bit of a history with Oda Mortis, one of the players here, the Doctor. Was a member of Oda Mortis. Oda Mortis is a team primarily out of Germany that's performing very well in the Pro League, the European League for World of Tanks. But now Team WUSA is qualified for the Pro League. Shout out to Dorjan, one of the main commentators over on Eastern Europe World in the Russian League in English. He gave me that information. He's here along with different representatives of WarGame. Germany is a team that's, you know, they won one of the WCGs. They, in the 2000s. They had the most gold medals, so this is a team coming from a rich history of esports, and they have that advantage with them. Ostabender, that's quite a name. Ostabender. This is actually a first for some of us guys to see these different teams and these different players here, since you know the leagues themselves are broadcasted, but WCG qualifiers, it's kind of one-time events pretty much. For us to see. So a lot of these guys we're getting to meet for the first time. I met Volcom for the first time last year, and now we've become friends helping to grow the North American League. So always a treasure to get to see so many different types of people here from different countries, different walks of life. There he is, Dr. Tua. He was the one that was a member of Oda Mortis. Wow, he looks like a doctor. He's ready to deal out some pain, man. And here we have Laurel.
I just looked over at Clutch at that exact moment to see his very confused face as to how to pronounce that guy's name.
I gave him my first shot, guys. People that know me from America, you know, when I see names, I'll pronounce them phonetically. And that one was a little bit tough. Psychoa. Try to pronounce it phonetically. But even in English, it's tough to do. Spanish, you read it as you say it. You know, there's no real crazy rules except the H is silent. But here's
Fickschnitzel.
Calling Johannes.
At least I think it's Fick.
Yeah.
Fickschnitzel. Yeah. But going to languages, Korean is the same way. It's read exactly the way it's written.
Which I really like the Korean alphabet, except for a couple letters where they have like
the double letters,
double lines. Yeah, double line. T32, no cons. The T32. All right, guys. Looks like we're almost ready to get into the match here. Thank you for your patience. This is gonna be EP versus Team WUSA, China versus Germany, for all the points to continue here in the group stage. And here we go on Lakeville, ladies and gentlemen. EP versus Team WUSA. EP is going to be the ones in the cream. Black Eagle. Saw him in that 5100. Also saw him in a 110, I believe, earlier on, performing pretty well here. They're going to go for the eastern approach into the city side of Lakeville, as they're going to keep one or two tanks a little bit spread out. T1 in the west. See if they can spot anything moving in the valley. And I'm liking this approach here, a little bit of a leapfrog going back and forth, but if I was them, man, I'd be pushing those heavies into the city a little bit faster, because even from the city, if there's an approach coming down the 4 line, they can get a couple quick hits and a couple track shots against those tanks coming down there, because they're going to be really exposed.
That's definitely true. There's a fine line that you have to walk along. You can't go too slow, because you could get shot from the 4 line, but if you go too fast, you could be too aggressive, and maybe they already have a defensive position in the city. You take a little too much damage. So you gotta read the situation and try to get into the city probably as fast as possible, because it's much easier to get to the 4 line than it is to get all the way to the city to stop your push, especially from the north.
Oh, of course, man. It's World of Tanks is a game. People look at it and they're a little bit intimidated by the amount of information that's there. And yes, I will agree with that. But World of Tanks has a lot of information for you to gather just by playing and getting a feeling of the different takes here. And that's what these different teams will bring to the table. They all have a little bit of variety in their approaches. Do they have their IS-3s out in front, or their 5100s go in for a couple quick shots and the IS-3s move in to cover for them? You know, that type of little approaches can make or break teams' engagement strategies and make champions over runner-ups.
Yeah, that's for sure. We've seen so many championship games come down to, you know, such little mistakes that people make. And
yep.
It's all about hammering out those little mistakes, making really strong, solid strategies that you can win games with consistently.
That's right. Commandante taking some hits. Side of Team WUSA on the 5100 taking a couple more shots. One more, and he's going to go down. Firestorm gets a kill against Commandante. And now another engagement coming out of the city side here. 5100 moves in. He's going to land some hits, and he's going to be at 9 HP falling back. Schnitzel's able to get the kill on Firestorm. Spring takes down Laurel. The fire is going to continue back and forth between both teams.
Psycho is in a bit of trouble there. He was surrounded by most of the tanks, and now it just looks like Schnitzel coming from behind, trying to get some shots down.
Nightmare, 44% in his T69. Brave Rabbit opens up the T1 in the fight, but the T69 now goes down to LD Nexus. EP's looking very, very strong here. It looks like about one tank left alive. Oh, no. A couple tanks still left alive here to get some trade blows. They're going to be fighting around the courtyard of the church. Looks like Black Eagle and Spring from Team EP are going to fall back to the south. Well, a 33% medium tank's going to take a shot on Spring. Another one. The T69 could line up another huge hit. That's a lot of damage against that 1390, and now the surround is on the way against that 1390.
Yeah, Spring just trying to get out of the way. He actually dodges a shot there, gets a good shot down, but eventually goes down. Now just that AMX 5100 left for the Chinese team, trying to come over here and lay down more of that damage with the 5100.
But the T1's trying to get there. The 5100 does go down, but the T1s are close to the flag cap. This is going to be close, folks. If they're able to get those shots from across the way and get the kills, then it's game over. But with two tanks on the flag, you're going to be able to capture fast here. But the tanks that are still left alive, those are not some slow pokes. They are some 1390s, and they're going to get over there quick.
Yeah, they're going to get over there quick. I expect they're going to take out these two tier 1s and take the first match here for Team WUSA.
I believe so. Flag cap. Oh, Brave Rabbit leaves. He gets killed by Schnitzel. And there's another one from Schnitzel. I'm going to have fun saying his name. Team WUSA takes battle number 1 here on Lakeville.
Very nicely played there.
Both
teams going for that city push, and eventually just better team fighting, better positioning, won them the game in the city there. So a nice win there for Team WUSA.
But we're going to get ready right now for battle number 2. Hi ho, it's off to Ensk we go, to the north. Playing for the green on this side. It's going to switch back and forth, folks. Spectator client doesn't allow us to have the different team colors here. I'm going to have them talk to Junior. They're going to need a more robust spectator client. You know, maybe talk to a couple other people that got some great ones. But EP.WoT. Team that is down 1, and there we see on the screen Team WUSA. WUSA is going to be spawning to the south. And they're going for the east, man. I'm liking the east side these teams are bringing here.
Yeah, it's not usually what we see. Like you were saying before, it's not a strategy that's played very often,
yep.
And you said it's almost never played.
Yep.
But now, already today, two teams have favored that east side. So, let's see. Keeping 2 of their heavy tanks all the way in the back right corner. And keeping the other 3 kind of a little bit forward on the eastern side of that railway, putting T1 in that 9 lane behind the building, or behind the bush. scouting out, make sure they get that information if any tanks try to go for a rush down that lane.
Yeah, it's going to be a slow creep for them, too, because that's not happening at all from EP. EP's on the west. Yeah, so we see, of course, this is dramatic irony. We see everything. We commentated on it. We asked the teams, why are you doing this? Well, because they don't have the same information as we do. But the west is going to be the territory of EP, who spawned to the north. They're going to be in the Charlie, Delta, and Echo areas here, down the 2, 3, and 4 lane.
And already, with a couple of the T1s spotted for each team, the teams are starting to get a better idea of where the enemy tanks are. You know, if Psychoa comes up there and sees that T1 over there, it probably means that they're either in the northeast corner or in the northwest city. And you don't usually see that northeast corner.
Yeah, exactly.
So they probably think that they're putting that T1 over there to make sure that no eastern rushes are coming, but they're going to keep most of their tanks over the west. And that's kind of some information that you can assume for the Chinese team, or for Team WUSA down at the bottom.
Assumptions is dangerous, but it does come to that it's guesstimations, right?
Guesstimation.
Yeah, it's you gather the information. You maybe not have the tank spotted, but you know nothing else is spotted in the area, so they have to be down there. Commandant 5100, he's going for some blind shots here, trying to kill that one T1. I actually don't agree with him trying to fight a tank that's 1, invisible, and 2, using all of his shells to do it. But if he can reload, there's no push coming in from EP. He's going to have the time for it to happen. But I really like the continual northern hopeful push here coming from Team WUSA. But he's going to have to find that other T1 that was I don't even know if it was damaged.
No, I don't believe so.
Brave Rabbit was able to hold the line and damage that one T1. But now we're seeing a bit of a push here coming out from some of the heavier tanks down the 5 line, thinking, all right, maybe they're going a 5-line approach, or maybe they're playing defensive. Let's poke out. Let's see what we can see here in the IS-3 up front and the 5100 in the back. They're not going to see anything, though. They're going to have to reposition one of those T1s. It might be a sacrificial play, but if he moves to the south and scouts a couple of those tanks, EP can have a better approach, especially if they decide to go down the 1 line, which could be the case right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for that 1-line push. I mean, they also saw the T1 of the enemy team over on that right side, so they had to believe either they're in the bottom right corner camping, which is, you know, nowadays I guess pretty common, or at least in this tournament. And either that or they're all in the west, so they got to be careful if they go for this push, because from that information you can't really gather much. But it looks like they do want to move out here and do something different. They don't want to keep camping. Nightmare X firing, I'm not sure if you saw anything. No tanks were spotted, maybe just a blind shot into the middle.
It's always fun to land a blind shot and get the kill. Saw that one time in the Season 1 finals. Landed a blind shot. Well, they knew the tank was there a couple moments before, but it disappeared on the map. But landed the blind shot just in time for the kill. But speaking of, you know, things that were so close we talked about earlier, saw a shot at the end of the Season 1 finals that missed. That shot that missed cost that team $25,000.
Yeah.
That was the difference between tying it up or losing, and they got the loss.
And that's got to be devastating for the team and the player.
Yeah, it was tough. Nightmare and IS-3 is going to stay in that keyhole position, trying to land a shot of anyone coming across. But so far, no dice between these two teams. Now what happens if it's a draw? We move on to the next game.
Yep. If they do draw, they both get a point. So all 3 points would be distributed, and the World of Tanks would be over.
Yeah.
Between these two teams, at least.
4 minutes and 30 seconds now on the clock. A lot of times you'll see the 5-minute reset happen for these different teams, where they'll go to an opposite side of the map or a different type of strategy. They'll try to push in. The reset we're seeing from EPs, they're falling back. They're going to the flag cap. And we haven't jumped over to the side of Team WUSA yet, but if I was them, I'd be jumping on trying to get some map control here, especially past the Echo line. With that map control, you can decide to go for a 2-flank approach. Turret break the enemy, and go for a full-on straight attack. Not going to be the case, though, for Team WUSA. They're going to play defensive. You guys will quickly learn, as I've said this over and over again in my career of World of Tanks, aggression means map control, and map control is key to winning. Anyone can camp. It is a viable strategy, especially in a draw instead of a loss, but Team WUSA needs the win here. EP also could use the win, which is why I think they should be a little more aggressive here. 3 minutes, 35 seconds on the mat.
I believe a wise man once said, the best defense is a good offense.
That's right. That's right, man.
But Team WUSA has not heard that before, apparently. So they...
Well, I can understand them being cautious because they could play for the draw and then go for the victory in the next battle. Which, it's a viable strategy. It's just these teams, if they want to compete on the international scene, if these teams want to win the gold, they're gonna have to show their teeth here.
Yeah. The teams that are worried about losing a game based on aggression or based on their strategy failing are not going to be the most confident ones, and they are not going to get the gold.
If you failed in your mind, you will fail in life.
Yeah. Or in tanks.
Or in tanks, yeah. Life lessons with Clutch and Brendan will continue. All right, there's the 110 action, or the IS-6 actually, moving out. And now we're seeing some play here from EP.
Yeah, they want to make a move. They don't want to stay. They're sending one down the railroad, the train tracks. He has not spotted anything yet. I don't think he will spot anything. That T1 going down the eastern side of that might, though. He's getting a bit closer. The other T1 is closing in as well. They might come upon the Team WUSA position here.
Oh, there goes the T1, but that's some good information gathering here.
Yeah, that's pretty crucial. Now Team EP going to move into that western spot. Going to come down into that J or K area. They are pinging that bottom left square. Team WUSA, nothing.
No
movement.
No. They see the T1, but they're not going to go for. They're staying next to the buildings. They're waiting for EP to make that move towards the flag cap. But I like the spread EP has. It's almost like laying a trap out for Team WUSA to push in across the railroad tracks. I don't think Team WUSA is going to take that bait. And so EP is going to have to close in around. Minute 37 seconds left on the clock. It's going to get pretty close here, folks. Even if all three tanks are able to get on that flag cap, some resets are bound to happen as soon as one of those shots lands. And IS-3 is getting in a prime position to make that happen. There's a couple shots coming from the Chinese team into to some of the buildings there. Nothing lands yet. This EP is moving down. Team WUSA is in a closed opposition. Nightmare gets the kill against the T1. T1's down on both sides. Bray Rabbit's still left alive, though. Now the IS-3 is getting closer. Nice shot coming out from the IS-3. On Team EP, and now WUSA. One team member from WUSA. The heavy tank's going to move to the north. And there's the push in, Brendan. There's the push right now on the flag cap.
Tank moves to the north. It is actually spotted by the T1 that is up there. So they're going to move in here. They are not going to wait. They're slowly creeping forward. They want to get some more damage. They already have gotten a lot of damage onto the WUSA tanks. If they do take this will tie it up 1-1. They are already starting the base capture with 3 tanks. It's going pretty fast, but it is delayed a bit by a hit.
Yeah, those resets are going to happen here. But here comes WUSA now moving in for the full-on approach. You have one over the railroad tracks, which is a smart move. The traded fire goes down. One tank down to 31% HP. Schnitzel gets the kill. Nice shot by him coming on the railroad tracks. And he's going to focus far on the IS-3, but the 5100 is going to move around. That 5100 is going to unload into him. Laurel takes down Firestorm. WUSA is getting some kills. Looks like the draw was declared, but have to go to the team score here, see if there's a tier 8 difference. It looks like there was a tier 8 difference, and that means that Team WUSA got the battle win for that.
Team WUSA now up 2-0 against his Chinese team, and we were saying before the Chinese team looked really strong in the games against the UK team, but now going down 2-0 already to Team WUSA. Of course, his European team is so strong.